Hey, it's Thom for GAK, and today we're checking out 3 amps that we'd recommend for beginners. So the idea with this is basically we're not recommending like those really small practice amps. We're offering some suggestions for things that have got onboard effects. They're capable of being turned up a bit, but they're also wallet friendly. So they're all coming in at under £300, which is an absolute wallet saver, but they still pack a massive punch. So let's dive in to what I've picked out. So the first amp that I've chosen is the Boss Katana. This particular one was gifted to us by Boss and it comes in the GAK colours, but yours will probably be a different colour. This is the Mark 1. I'm using the Mark 1 because we've got it in the cool colours, but there is actually a Mark 2 and those amps are packed full of features. So for instance, these amps go from like ridiculously clean to really overdriven for that like metal lead or like sort of Steve Vai-esque sort of levels of gain, like you know what I'm talking about. Obviously it has that enormous range of different sorts of gain, so you're getting all of those like bluesy sounds all the way up to metal, but also because it has so many effects, the user interface and the user support for these things is fantastic. Like I know so many people who have one of these and they use it for just jamming out at home when they don't want to turn on their massive 4x12 huge rig and make loads of noise. This does turn up loud and it's really cool because it has a power control, which means you can turn it down quite a lot. So if you are practicing at home, this is ideal. In terms of what Boss have done to make it a really slick user experience is that they've added their own app support. So you can start messing around with presets and different gain and different effects all at the same time. And you can do that all from your phone or iPad or whatever. So within the industry, this thing is known as an absolute powerhouse. It's an absolute workhorse. And as I said, I know loads of people who have them. And I know loads of people who use them. There are like Boss artists that use them on like clinic tours and things like that. They take them on tour. So you should definitely check one of these out. These currently come in at just over £200. So you should definitely have a look at them if you're looking for a decent amp that's going to give you some of those classic and modern sounds at the same time. So the second amp that I've chosen is the Orange Crush 35 watt edition. The reason I've chosen this amp is because it has some really neat onboard features that make it feel a little bit less like a modeling amp and more like a real tube amp. So for instance, it has 2 different channels on it. So you've got a dirty channel and you've got a clean channel. And the range of different gain stages you can get out of that is quite enormous. So it goes from like boutique level clean on the dirty channel to like absolutely rip your face off disgusting amounts of overdrive, which is perfect because that covers all your bases. It also has a built-in tuner, and I know that doesn't sound like an enormously big deal, but if you're looking for a compact rig and you're looking for more affordable options, this is probably quite a good thing to have. And also it has a built-in reverb effect. So this amp gives you a really nice introduction to how most tube amps work, and when you progress into different sorts of guitar playing and different sorts of tones and things, you might be looking at different amp heads and things like that. And the reason that this is great is because obviously it has those 2 channels, and it has like a really nice basic interface that you literally just turn on and you twiddle some knobs and you can get a great tone. So that's why I've chosen this one. The other thing to mention with this amp is that there is a whole range of the Crush series. So if the 35 watt is slightly too big or too loud, even though it's fairly small, there are smaller options that are potentially more affordable. This one comes in at our cheapest one of the 3 that I've chosen at just over £200. I think it's like £5 over 200 or something, but you know, ridiculously good price for something that sounds really good and will hopefully get you going when you're playing guitar. So the third amp I've chosen is a Blackstar ID Core. This particular one is a 100 watts version. It does come in some smaller wattage versions. However, the 100 watt version is quite big and I like that. And it comes in at just over £300. So it is a little bit more expensive than the other 2 options. However, it does come with some really cool features that set it apart from that. So this particular one has 2 speakers in it, which enables you to get that great stereo effect sound. So if you're running like reverbs and things, you can use delay things as well to give you a really wide stereo image as you play, which can be really, really cool. It does a bunch of different voicings. So we've got from clean warm to OD2, which is like ridiculous overdriven stuff. And then you've got all that gain on tap so that you can cover pretty much all your bases. Blackstars come with a really cool feature, which is their ISF mode, and that changes how the amp responds according to different amp manufacturing types. So there's a thing called British amps and American amps, and this one captures the essence of those, and you can dial in between those 2 amp sounds with the ISF switch, which is really cool. So if you're looking for like a AC/DC sound, you would go for like a British sound, and if you're looking for like one of those more modern-y like Mesa Boogie sounds or something like that, you probably go for American or Fender. The other thing to mention with this amp is that it has a plethora of reverb, delay and modulation effects, all controlled from this effect wheel. And you can run all of these at the same time. So we have an individual control for reverb, individual control for delay, and the modulation knob switches between like a phaser and a flanger and like an octave up sort of thing as well, which is really cool. And you can store them as separate presets as you go. So if you then hooked it up with one of their external foot switches that doesn't come with this, then you can swap between presets, which means that if you're jamming out at home and you're playing along with a track or something, you can follow it really easily by just swapping presets. The amp also features a built-in tuner. It has MP3 line in, which means that you can jam out without having anything external. You can just plug straight into this thing and it's going to play your tunes at the same time as you. And for the money, you're going to be getting something that is going to crank up fairly loud. So if you're jamming with a drummer or something like that, this thing's going to cut the mustard. It's going to cut through and it won't be hidden beneath a wall of noise. I think this thing's great. I strongly urge you to check out the entire range of the ID Core series. They do like small practice amps all the way up to this thing right here, and it will certainly give you all the tones you're looking for if you're a beginner guitarist. So those were the three guitar amps that I chose as perfect entry points for beginner guitarists that hopefully have some longevity and you'll keep for quite a long time. If you haven't seen it already, we also have a video out on budget guitars that we also recommend for beginner guitarists. We decided to use those to demo these because it felt appropriate, because we're not going to plug in like a £3,500 Strat into a beginner guitar amp or something we recommend for that. So hopefully you can get a really strong idea of some of the tones you can get. With all of these amps as well, they come as part of a series. So if one is slightly too large or too small, you should definitely go on the website and check out some of the other options that are available in each of the manufacturer's series to see what's right for you. So let us know what you think. If you enjoyed the video, leave us a like, subscribe to see more content like this. If you have any suggestions for things that people should check out, also leave a comment and we'll see you soon.